Sometimes when you're in a deep hole, it can be one of the greatest things that has ever happened to you. And being honest with people, hey, I love you, but I gotta move on. I don't know what it is that's in store for me there, but something is telling me to go. That's being true to yourself. That's having integrity. The way of integrity and why you should stop doing what you're supposed to. Watch up until the end because I'm going to give a bonus tip about having integrity between your home life and also your business relationships. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell so that way it'll let me know to do more videos like this one. So in the past, I used to listen to a lot of people's opinions, a lot of advice from people, and I know that they were doing it out of good intentions. I know that I took full responsibility for where I was at in life. In the past, I would say close to a year. I was mentally stuck. I was stuck in a career. I was stuck in doing things that I was supposed to do, and I kept listening to other people's voices and not necessarily my own. So because of that, I swear to you, like for many years, I would feel very anxious. I don't think I ever had any peace in my heart every morning. Just imagine every morning just waking up being very anxious and just sometimes not even being able to breathe because that's how much anxious you feel. If you can relate with that, let me know by commenting down below, but that was my reality and I just didn't know what was going on wrong. But the root of it is that there was definitely unforgiveness there about past experiences, I'm sure, and also not being able to tap into my own intuition and listen to what I want to do and what my design was supposed to do and go after. So I was allowing all of that to happen rather than tapping into my own intuition, rather than listening to my own voice that I am doing today. And it had led me to a place of freedom. It had led me to a place of peace and true actual fulfillment in my heart, and actually knowing what to do every morning and being self-motivated because I listened to my own voice. So a little quick story about how it all started. So for the last, since I could remember, I was a teenager, and I grew up in a very dysfunctional home. And my escape from reality, if you will, was video. I remember I would be in my room for many, many hours of the day creating content, literally from a very old camera, a Sony camera that I don't even remember the name of the year, but it was back in definitely 2000, before 2010. And I created content out of thin air, out of nothing. And I remember I would ask my friends, hey, be part of this video with me. It's a lot of fun. It's better than doing drugs or having sex or just getting yourself into issues and consequences that will come up later. I just never really was fond of doing what the norm was doing as I was growing up. I was a very isolated kid, so I just turned to video creation. I remember I would record in my room for many hours of the day, and I would edit in my Windows Movie Maker. I think what sparked that interest in me as far as video is because I remember in 9th grade, I had taken a video editing class, and we used Windows Movie Maker, very ancient editing program. But that's what I started with, and I just fell in love with video. I don't know what it is, but it's like everyone has a unique of something that they love doing, and I loved it ever since. So I remember I just started off as doing it as a hobby because I didn't understand that I could take that as a career. I grew up in a very small town that nothing really happens, and if you ever need to go to a Walmart, you have to drive 30 minutes. So I was pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and I just didn't understand that video could be part of a career that I could definitely go after. But yeah, my family definitely encouraged me to look into university, so I definitely started doing scholarships. I started entering competitions about video, and I just loved it. Like, I knew it was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And so, I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta. I got a video production degree for 2 years. I was ready to graduate after 2 years, and I started working immediately in the video world. And then I got introduced to a business model that I am forever grateful of learning today, which it has compounded like a snowball effect to learn so many different things from that business. So I was introduced to a lot of entrepreneurs, this whole business ideas. And I knew when I was in video and creating video and all that kind of stuff, I knew that I wanted to have my own company. I just didn't know how to start, where to invest, didn't know anything. So at a very young age, I saved a lot of money because I knew it took money to start something. I didn't know how, and that's good. If you don't know how, but you know the why, everything else follows. So I got introduced to the business world. I was introduced to multi-millionaires, and I actually hired a multi-millionaire myself that I constantly talk about on this channel, and it's just been incredible. So what I've learned from this multi-millionaires, and I had already neglected my video creation world where I was really, really good at. But I started listening to these multimillionaires, and they obviously helped me to become very wealthy today financially in every area of my life as well. And I have options today with my money. I know where to invest. So there were so many great things that came along with learning from these multimillionaires. And one of the things that were similar about these multimillionaires that I was learning from is that sales is the way to go, like sales. So I took that literally. I said, okay, well, I have to make cold calls, I have to go door knocking, I have to do all these things so that I can be successful. And I've done that for 4 years, because when I got into a different career change, and it wasn't video, because I've been so heavily involved with video for many, many years. Up until that point, I decided to change my career. I really don't know why I did. I think I was just more after the money more than anything. So there was a lot of there's a lot of great things that came along with that. But I decided to change careers and just learn more about sales, which I'm so incredibly grateful that I learned sales today, because sales is everything, but I took it literally, like actual literal sales calls, like things like that. So I changed my career. I worked with this multimillionaire. If I told you who he is, you will definitely know who he is. He's very well known today. Within my first year, I remember when I first got hired, I was able to double my salary. I got bonuses, I got referrals, I got recontracts. I was able to double my income within 1 year alone. So I was able to taste that success, if you will, and I just couldn't stop going after it. And I had completely just forgot about video altogether. Something that was planted in me, I do believe, since I was a child, since I was a baby, since I was even born, to do, which was video. But I had neglected it because my motivation or my why had changed, which is okay. But I guess I got distracted for a good cause. So I learned a lot about sales. So within 1 year, I lost that job because success got to my colon, and honestly, I didn't know how to maintain that particular success in my life. All the recognition, you name it. And it humbled me a lot when I lost the job, and I was so happy because I knew that that wasn't the path that I wanted to continue on. I just knew it. And for me, like, I know myself so well, I don't like to quit things. But when I started going after sales jobs, I started quitting them, and I would be so frustrated in myself. I'm like, why am I quitting? I'm not a quitter. Like, ever since I was little, I stuck to one thing and I flourished in that. What is happening? I don't know what's going on. I have the wrong motivation. I don't understand this. So, when I lost that job, I started going after different types of sales. I was doing credit repair. I didn't understand what that world was either. Believe it or not, I was in a cruise line. I thought, oh, hey, maybe if I have a little bit of fun in sales. Yeah, no. Wrong motivation. Still. And I even did door to door. I was successful for a short amount of time in there until obviously I ended up quitting. But I was just so frustrated with myself for quitting these things that I knew it was the wrong thing to do, but I would ask myself, why is this going on? This is not right. What's happening? When I had not realized that I neglected video this whole time, that I just is my gift, that I do no extra work with. It just comes out to me naturally when it comes to video. Like I flourish when I'm in front of the camera. I just talk to you as if you're one of my friends. Like, it just comes natural to me. So that's why I was able to do really well in sales. For a long time, I did all these type of different sales jobs, very unfulfilled. I had lost quite a chunk of myself, to be honest with you, because I kept listening to people that wanted the best for me, and that was, hey, you got to go after sales. The only way for you to become rich or successful is that you have to do sales. And that's, I'm hungry and I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I want to go. But I just really haven't tapped into a full self-discovery of myself. So because I kept listening to a lot of people's opinions, and I've allowed for those opinions to dictate my life, I became depressed. I remember I was in a very horrible state of mind, and I didn't know how to get out of it, that it just caused this horrible thing that happened in my life that I'm pretty sure I can share it with another video. I just don't want to take much of your time with this one. But it had gone to a point that it got really bad, and I had to check myself, and I had to be like, you know what? This is not what I wanted my life to be. I'm a producer, I'm a director of my life, and this is not something that I signed up for. So there was and sometimes when you're in a deep hole, it can be one of the greatest things that has ever happened to you. It can, so badly. So I was in a deep hole, and I just immediately from there started to listen to my intuition. And at that time I was living in Miami. I did all kinds of sales jobs in Miami, and I was not fulfilled in Miami. I didn't like Miami. It was beautiful and all, but it just wasn't somewhere where I had my mind to be in, or my heart. So then I was like, my intuition just rised up out of nowhere, and it said, get out of this place that you're in. Don't no longer be pressured by people's opinions of what you have to do next. Get out. If you want to go to a different state, go do it. You have all the freedom. So my intuition just kept saying, San Antonio, San Antonio, San Antonio, San Antonio. Listen, I was so sick of the lifestyle in Miami. I'm sorry if I have to get into this, but there's so much facade happening in Miami, and I'm sure it happens everywhere else in the world. But in Miami specifically, because I was living there was so much facade. There were so much fake people trying to impress others by their lifestyle, by how much money they make, but they don't necessarily how much debt that they're in. I was just sick of it. I was sick of it, and especially how they were treating other people and how they just cared about themselves. I was just so fed up with that lifestyle in Miami. I've had enough. So my intuition kept saying, San Antonio, San Antonio. So I swear to you, when that intuition was in my heart, that voice, I ran with it. I couldn't even sleep that night. I've done so much research as far as where I could potentially stay in San Antonio. I couldn't sleep. As much as I tried, I couldn't. And I made a decision to leave the place that I was in Miami, packed up all my stuff, and I just left. And I do believe that was a place for me for time out, in a good way, in a good way. San Antonio has been a place for me of self-discovery. It has opened up so many avenues in my life that I didn't know that I had. I was able to not have noises in my life anymore, or voices, but having my own voice finally. And listening to my intuition and relying on my intuition more than anything. And I know intuition is part of your integrity. Integrity is listening to your intuition, and obviously being honest with yourself and say, hey, I gotta change this. And being honest with people, hey, I love you, but I gotta move on to my next life. or my next chapter in life, wherever that is. I gotta go. I don't know what it is that's in store for me there, but something is telling me to go. That's being true to yourself. That's having integrity. And I did, and it has been such a blessing ever since. So much self-discovery, and from all those failures that I don't necessarily see them as failures because I don't regret it, it has led me to a place of freedom today, of peace, because I've decided to learn from them. I didn't just stay there. I learned and I took responsibility for those failures. And I created a whole masterpiece of opportunities with it. So yeah, in San Antonio, I had my own place. I was so happy for me. Like, I don't think we go through life not knowing how precious our single time is with ourselves, not having someone else there. Because all my life I had someone there. And I remember when I was a child, I didn't have people there because I isolated myself. Therefore, I pursued video constantly. So with that being said, being in San Antonio, I was able to reduce the noise, listen to what I want, being grateful, actually finding the real God, the true God who genuinely loves me, that he had to take me all to a different state for me to be like, yo, get your shit together, but in a loving way. I don't think we appreciate the value of alone time. We don't. We don't appreciate the value of listening. We don't appreciate the value of space, of full self-discovery, because I know for myself, I'll just throw it out there. Like, I wanted to be married for a very long time, but I realized that those desires came from other people. Those desires was pressuring me to pressure my individual to get married. And I'm so thankful today that he has a backbone and such a strong individual to not go into that place of allowing people's other desires to dictate his future. I'm so grateful that he has a backbone and knows his boundaries. And marriage wasn't the answer, but the reason why I thought it was is because, oh my gosh, everybody else is doing, it's like the new hot thing, and we're sinners if we're not married. And again, that's like a whole different story from there. So it's just, I couldn't be able to think. So me being in San Antonio was like, oh my God, I'm so thankful that I'm single right now. Like, I know I'm going to get married, but oh my God, I appreciate being single right now. I appreciate it so much. But this is not what the video is about. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, please let me know by liking this video, also sharing it with your friends, and also commenting down below that you're finding this very helpful for you. So I went through a lot of self-discovery. It's okay to put yourself in timeout and have time for yourself, have time for space, have time for clarity, have time for cleansing. I literally wasn't on Facebook for a very long time. I've had it. I've had it with the fake. I've had, like, what happens in social media is not true. It's just not true. We don't see the overall picture. We just see 0.00000, perhaps 2% of that picture, of that capture moment. That's it. But we don't know the overall picture, what goes on in their lives. It's fake. And I just was sick of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm done of this fake world. I want to just think for myself. The moment that I had my own place in San Antonio, I just broke down because I'm like, wow, I have a place to go where I can just have a reset button, like, just love me, find who the heck I am, let me think for myself. And what does Natalie enjoy doing? Same thing for you. I'm very grateful that I learned about business. I'm very grateful that I learned about sales, because I literally just married video and sales. I became an innovator, and I married the two and just created a business out of that, which is what you're watching today. We have to look at our failures as stepping stones to where our future holds. The only way for you to fail in life is if you quit. That's the only failure. That's the only definition. But we're gonna go through mistakes, but take those as opportunity, learn from them, so you don't continue to repeat that cycle. I remember that forgiveness is a reset button, and forgiveness helps you to not repeat something. So forgive yourself and forgive other people. I did mention that I have a bonus tip. So here it is. As far as integrity goes, I want to ask you, like, how are you treating your family in your home life? Are you treating them differently than you do with your clients, with your career, with your job? Are you treating your coworkers better, or are you treating your clients better than you are your family? Because if you are, you're not really a person of integrity. What you do at your home translates your overall life and even business and career. So how you treat your family is just as important as how you treat your business and clients, because now you're a person of integrity. You're not a hypocrite. You're not acting one way and then the other way. You're totally different with your close people that we take for granted. So a person of integrity is someone who is honest all around the clock, with clients, with coworkers, with business partners, with our spouses, with our children, with our parents, everyone. That's a person of integrity. And if you're feeling stuck, I would love to help you. Reach me at nathalie.lazo@gmail.com and let me know how I can best serve you. And be sure to watch this video next on 6 common habits that make people instantly like and trust you. You can find the link right below in the description. I'll see you there.